Let's go, y'all.
Start your show
It's
now by
going
press
down,
1.
baby.
To hear important instructions, press 2.
All right. So it's on.
Since it appears you're calling into
Yeah.
a live show, we are
Yeah, yeah,
reconnecting you
yeah,
now.
yeah. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Yeah. It's the Daily Go Get 'em. It be all right. It's gonna be all right. Yeah. It's the Daily Go Get 'em. Everything is gonna be okay. We do this day, throwback Thursday. That's right. So tonight we talk about being good in bed but bad in love. What y'all know? Being good in bed but bad in love. Oh man, we about to talk to some people tonight. Shoot, we might be talking to ourselves tonight. Look, some words are gonna get spoken tonight. You know what I mean? We're gonna hit some relationships in the heart. We've all had experiences and you know how it go. So we're gonna talk about it tonight on this show. And it's me, my name is Son, aka O, and it's all right. So tonight on the Daily Go Get 'Emism show, on this Throwback Thursday, let's get real about relationships Thursday. We are talking about good in bed, bad in love. So we're gonna talk about when you have been in a situation where you have a very, very good physical relationship, but the other parts of the relationships are total trash. They are not in working order. They are out of service, and it's a on one end, it's a good situation when you can be with somebody who really is in tune with your physical body and you can have such a great time, coming all over the place and whatever. But it's a bad situation when that's all that you have. And although when you don't have that type of situation, that good physical situation, you think that, yo, it would be nice to have, but you don't understand that you have more and the math just don't add up. So you got to do more and you got to make sure that you get it going on for sure. Work. So good in bed, bad in love. It's during these times when you find out that what you really wanted was love instead of just sex. And there are hardly too many things in life that are more disheartening and discouraging than finding out that you thought that you just wanted to jump somebody's bones, but you really don't want to be alone. And when you're with that person, you feel nothing but alone. You only feel alienated. You only feel frustrated. You feel like, yo, what are you good for besides laying down and taking it like a whole? But anyway, so that's what we're talking about tonight. Good in bed, bad in love. You know, in situations like this, people have been together for years. Some people have been together for years and they have nothing going on except for a sexual relationship. And they may actually really like the way each other look. So, visibly and physically, they have it all. They have it going on. They can have a great time together as long as there are naked bodies and heavy breathing. But as soon as it's time to do things like connect on a spiritual level, come together to build families, and I mean really build families. I'm not talking about when somebody gets pregnant, because we're going to have to talk about that too. When you get pregnant or when you impregnate somebody who you really only have a sexual relationship with, who you only really have sexual ties with, who you only are able to connect with sexually. And you got a baby that comes on about it. But what I was going, where I was going with this was sometimes people are in this situation for a long time. Sometimes this situation makes its visit way longer than it should have. And here you are stuck doing what you didn't mean to do, but and you didn't mean to get stuck like this, but you did. And here you are. Well, we need to go into this situation and try to dissect it on this Throwback Thursday. Let's get real about relationships Thursday on the Daily Go Get 'Emism show. How many of y'all know what I'm talking about? How many of y'all have been there? I don't care if you did it when you were younger. The first time you get turned out by somebody. Now, I ain't talking about when young boys first get their little piece and they think it's the best thing in the world. I mean, they don't have nothing else to compare it to. We know some of the tragedies that have come come out of that. Here this boy is 13, 14 years old, and he done got some girl pregnant that was 12 or 13 years old. Yeah. I know about it. You know about it. We know about it. We done seen all kinds of crazy stuff like this. And now maybe sometimes the baby was actually born, and sometimes we went and handled it through the we handled it through pro-choice tools. But nonetheless, I'm talking about when you have gotten that shot that opened your nose like to the point where you walking around with your head down and everybody can still see all the nostrils, all the hair follicles in your nostrils. Your nose was open that bad. When you get that one that makes you say, it ain't no woman like the one I got. No one can do me better. Sex me good, but she argues a lot. Well, anyway, so that's how it is a lot of times for a boy. For a girl, that first dude, like, she might have really thought she was enjoying sex, or she may have thought that this was what sex was all about, until she got with that one who really showed her and turned her out, and she was like, that one you was sneaking in, you was sneaking to the house. The one your parents didn't like. Maybe he was too old for you, and he turned your little young self out. So, years later, you thought about it like, he was the reason I was so in love with him was because he was the first one who ever made me feel that way. And it wasn't so easy for other boys or men to make me feel like that afterwards. He knew what he was doing. He was skilled in the arts. He was skilled in the sexual arts. Anyway, so, but when you look back on it, you realize that you didn't really have anything with that person except for sex. So the only way to make any of your problems go away was that you had to get undressed, lay on your back, or bend over. That was the only way that you and that person could connect, because y'all didn't really get along. And that's a lot of self-discovery right there, when you realize that you didn't really like a person that you loved. You realize that you didn't like a person that you loved. But you sure liked one thing about him. Let's get into it. Urban Therapy with Sun 752 with this your daily. The Daily Go Getimism Show. We do this every single day. Every day it rains. Every day it rains. And the DG will do the same. We break it down, baby. Every day it rains. And the DG will do the same. Every day it rains. And the DG will do the same. Every day it rains. And the DG will do the same. Every day it rains, and the DG will do the same. I'm your host, Sun 752, aka Omar with the. And if you can't say Omar with the, well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Daily Go Getimism Show, all up in your area. I'm feeling like a real man should, and I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should also. Tonight on the Daily Go Getimism Show, we are talking about good in bed, bad in love. Good in bed, bad in love. This is something like when a man is a very, very good father, but a very, very bad husband or boyfriend. But this is a little bit different, because when you think about your physical attraction to somebody that culminates in a sexual relationship, and you weren't going out for a sexual relationship, you weren't looking for a sexual relationship, but boom, where are you? What you got? A sexual relationship. And the sexual part of the relationship happens to be the only part of the relationship that you like at all. You might be dealing with somebody who is jealous, possessive, manipulative, conniving, petty, um, vindictive, a straight hater, somebody who doesn't even seem to want to see you do well, somebody who may be nitpicky, somebody who may be insulting to you, somebody who actually somebody that you may not really get along with all that much. You know, somebody where you and that person are always going back and forth. But y'all got this one ace in the hole. That's all y'all got. Good in bed, bad in love. The type of person that never disappoints between the sheets or on top of the sheets or, on an air mattress or on a couch down, down in the in your cousin's base. Whatever the case is. Whatever the case is. You might be dealing with somebody who you only have a sexual relationship with. That's all you got. For some people, that seems to work a little bit. It's the kind of thing that'll make you make excuses for somebody. It's the kind of thing that will make you make excuses for somebody. Well, we all couples have their ups and downs. Everybody got their problems, but we work them out. Yeah, what you mean by that is like we work them out after we work it in. So you know how people say you should couples should never go to bed mad at each other. Well, we got one way to quell our anger towards each other. Other than that, we're gonna be up for days. Other than that, we're gonna be up for days. Good in bed, bad in love. You might be dealing with somebody who is a straight cheater, roving eye, straight philanderer. But, and as crazy as it seems, it might make sense to you because you're like, yo, as good as he or she is, yeah, I could see. Yeah. Yeah, that type of thing. Good in bed, bad in love. Good in bed, bad in love. Matters of the heart, they suck. Conversation, they suck. Spiritual connection, they suck. Creative when it comes to bonding exercises, they suck. Even just being a nice person, suck. Generous person, suck. Happy person, suck. Friendly, suck. You literally sleeping with the sexual enemy. Literally. What's going on, y'all? Cal Chamberlain, mi friend, mi favorita. Thanks for coming on through. Always great to see you. TK Wright, morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my peoples going directly into your site. And Ansel Jones, my brother Ansel Jones, Baltimore brother girls can't leave him alone. And Stacey White, thanks for coming through tonight. Everything is going to be all right. And Saboy, Build and Destroy, thanks for coming on through. What up, Saboy? TK Wright says treating BPH. What is treating BPH? What's BPH? Blood pressure. Why do I want to say blood pressure? I don't know. What's BPH? And so Jones says, good in bed and lining. Wait a minute. I say that? Well, hold on. What does that say? Good in bed and timing love was strong. Timing was it? Okay. Okay. And Savoy says, sometimes that's all you need. In a relationship, I don't know. Listen. I've never had a problem that sex could fix. Besides horniness. And I guess you could say horniness is a problem. But I ain't never boned my problems away. I hear people saying that, but I'm like, no. Like sex goes along with other things. It doesn't really cure problems. It don't last long enough for that. And I don't care if y'all smashing for hours. It don't last. I mean, I don't know. Well, I don't know what kind of problems y'all got, but I know. But yeah, in a relationship, when two people are on the same page, when they really are feeling each other, when they can bounce ideas, thoughts, feelings, and strategies off of each other and feed off of each other that way. Long conversations, that's like sex. It's better than sex. It can be. Or it can be better than some forms of sex. But we're talking about when somebody is good in bed, bad in love. If you're going to be good in bed and bad in love, your sex better be off the chain. Of the chain. Like this can't be no this ain't no ordinary love. No ordinary love. No. This is, if you want to be good in bed but bad in love, you can't have regular. This thing got to be a fast bike. You understand what I'm saying? This thing has to be a fast bike. I'm talking about nothing less than 1100 cc's. This can't be no little 600 cc bike. No. This can't be a quick bike. This got to be a fast bike with mad power. Getting all the way up to 180, 200 miles per hour. That's how it has to be when you're good in bed and bad in love. This has to be spectacular. Because love will keep a couple together almost forever. Sex won't do it. And a lot of people mistake that sexual energy for emotional or love energy, and it's not. You come to realize, like, sometimes as good as a person can be in bed, you realize that this is actually where all the problems are coming from, because this is the only thing that we have to fall back on when it all falls down. When it all falls down. Make sure that y'all hit that like button, y'all. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. This is the Daily Go Getimism Show, and we are talking about good in bed, bad in love. Good in bed, bad in love. Have you ever been in a situation where you were dealing with somebody that knocked your socks off sexually, but got on your nerves totally in every other category? People discount what a pleasure it is to be able to look at your phone when somebody calls and want to actually talk to them. Like, oh yeah, I'm with this. Instead of, I'll call him back. Or you know that feeling you get, like, even when you know you can't talk. Let's say you in a meeting or something like that, but when that person call you, like, yo, y'all need to hurry this meeting up because I gotta make this call. It's an emergency. I might have to leave work early. You see, I said, yeah, this is it. Now you might be thinking, yeah, well, that's what I do when that person comes through. That like when they call, I know it's a booty in the duty call. I ain't talking about that though. I'm talking about love, the kind of love that you make with your clothes on, all your clothes on, you know what I mean? Just to be close to you, girl. That type thing. You know what I mean? The 70s songs where you rapped, when you talked through the song, whether you talked in the front of the song, like Lionel Richie with Just to Be Close to You. It's Throwback Thursday, right? Or whether you talked in the middle of the song, like Jeffrey Osborne, you know, when it's like that, when you can't wait to be around a person, when you can't wait to get your eyes on a person, when a person is away from you for an extended amount of time and you be missing them. You be missing them. You know, that type shit when you get around a person, you still talking about how much you miss them. You know what I'm talking about. Don't act dumb. You know what I'm talking about. When you have missed a person and you get around a person and you still talking about how much you miss them. Don't play dumb with me. We ain't gonna do that tonight. I'm talking about that kind of love. You're like, baby, I'm here. We together. You know what I mean? The wait is over. I know, but you don't understand. You ever seen, you know how they be having those videos on the internet. This is why people love dogs so much. You know, where the dog missed his owner so much. You know, and the owner finally come home from the army or a long trip or something like that, and the dog is crying. Oh my God! The dog trying to jump on the owner's head, and basically trying to get inside their body. That's why people love dogs, because there's no disputing how much a damn dog loves you. Well, some people experience what that's like from a person, not just a tongue hanging out wagging dog. Not that there's anything wrong with tongue hanging out wagging dogs. I love dogs, love them to death. But one thing about dogs is that they do not have any bones about showing you how much they really, really value you. And human beings struggle with that sometimes. They really struggle with that sometimes. So when you finally get that person where you can't even hold back from being that close and acting that emotional around them, it's deep. Now imagine wanting that connection, but you ain't got nowhere, nothing close to that. But you do got this. You got screams, moans, comes, and rounds. But what you don't have is the desire to be around them when there is no sex involved. That's what you don't have. Good in bed, bad in love. How long have you done it? If you've ever been in this situation, how long have you done it? Because I've known people who have done it for more than a year. I've known people who had to do it for more than a year because they messed around and got knocked up or knocked up the person who they had that type of relationship with. They was looking for love, couldn't find love, but they sure did find some good draws. Draws on, draws off, draws on, draws off. Danielson draws on, draws off, draws on, draws off. Carol says it's like drinking your problems away. When you sober up, the problem is still there. Man, true indeed. True indeed. And so says those people have to match their personality. And he also says OJ Jones, I seen you walking in the, oh, Orange Juice Jones. Yeah, I saw you walking in the rain. But yeah, this is, you know, this is real stuff. It's rare. It's very, very rare. So yeah, man, you know, when you have a situation where all you have is a sexual relationship and you really want more. Now, here's a question that I want to ask y'all, because if any of y'all have ever been in this situation, the mystery of the situation that comes to my mind, or the question that I want to ask is, do both people normally want more than a sexual relationship, or is it that one person is satisfied with only being good in bed and the other person really wants more, but since being good in bed is all they have, they are, you know, settling for that for the time being? You know, was it that one person was always looking for more and the other person was like, man, what's the problem? Take your clothes off. Enough is enough. I had enough of your whining. I'm going to give you something to whine about. Couples get together, they grow together. Eventually they're going to cohabitate. So that means that they're going to be, you know, they're going to have to structure out ways that they're going to pay the bills, you know, finances, you know, building families. Babies are going to come out of all that sex, especially when you're younger. Unless one of y'all is infertile or something like that, you know, children are going to come out of that. So one of the worst things that can ever happen to you is that you have children based on a sexual relationship, because of the fact that you were never really together in the first place. It's going to be very hard to come together for the welfare of the child. That's what a lot of people don't seem to understand. When you've never been together for the purposes of the two of you having your hearts connected, how are you going to come together saying that because both of our hearts are connected to the child, we're gonna be all right? First of all, normally, and I ain't trying to diss nobody or, you know, expose nobody, but you know, when a child has come out of a sexual relationship, both parties aren't into the child like that. One of them is just acting. The other one might be real. Honestly, sometimes neither one of them really wanted the child, but they did. They did. And now both of them playing a role. Oh, yeah, you know, it's all about my baby. It's all about my babies. Everybody who says that is not really living that, and they're not always feeling that. As parents, we're supposed to say that. But you ain't gonna tell me that a man who knocked up a thought, you ain't gonna tell me that he magically becomes attached to that thought baby. Baby thought away. He might have 2 or 3, 4 kids, you know, somewhere else. And then we done added on another one. And I ain't, you know, shoot, I ain't mean to have the 3 and 4. You know how I'm feeling about this 5th. I'm still trying to hold it together. Surely, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. Surely, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. What's going on? Thanks for coming on through. But this is real talk. You know, sometimes we raise our expectations of what we think we can get in a situation like this. Good in bed, bad in love. Good in bed, bad in love. Your expectations are going to kill you. Everything that you expected in a relationship, you're not getting. All you're getting is the good sex in the relationship. You're not getting a good connection. You're not getting good responsibility. You're not getting good love. You're not getting good feelings. You're not getting anything that's reinforcing for you. You're holding on to nothing. You're literally dangling on a titty. I'm going to just hang on to this titty. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, hanging on a titty. Take my hand. Oh, hanging on a titty. Oof. Savoy says he could be into you and not the baby. He might. Here go the problem though. Savoy, he might be the one that's good in bed. It might not be you. When I say good in bed, bad in love, I'm not normally talking about both people being good. One is serviceable and the other one is on some, you know what I'm saying? And that's just from a perspective point of view. You know, it doesn't always take two people to be good at sex in order for sex to be good. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Sometimes the person that's better at it has to take up the slack for the one that's lacking. Don't play dumb. Don't play dumb. It ain't always just because the sex is good, it doesn't mean that both of them was good. I always wonder if people think about that too. You know, I've heard chicks say, like, yo, the only reason I stayed with him so long because the D, I mean, you know, he used to be, you know, it was the sex. And that's one of the reasons why I used to think people were lying when they said that. I thought that they were just making an excuse for wanting to be with somebody who wasn't really that good for them. But what I wasn't listening to, and what I started listening to later on was, yeah, they said that they stayed in it because the sex was so good. They never said that they were good in sex, good as far as sex was concerned. They never said that. So the people that I know that have stayed in sexual relationships, they normally complain that, yeah, that's why I let him stay up in my place, you know, for years. Yeah, that's why I was buying him stuff. Yeah, that's why when he wasn't working, I was still holding it down for him. Yeah, that's why I even had his baby and he wasn't even paying child support or nothing. He wasn't even providing for the child. I'm like, oh. He was something like a pimp. You never said how good you were in bed. You said how good he was. He was good in bed, but bad in love. You might have been good in love, but not so good in bed. Maybe that's what was being said without straight saying it. Maybe. And so says the WAP ain't a waterbed. Cheryl says made that a real song. It is. What you mean? That was a song by John Areola Bon Jovi. He's from Jersey. John Areola Bon Jovi. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, hanging on an areola. Like rock climbing. Stacey White says, I don't know. I'm a virgin. Okay. Well, then, I guess that if that's the case, then we'll see. Maybe the future holds something for you. Savoy says, virgins still exist. Good for you. Well, you have virgins and you have born again virgins. I don't know how you could be a born again virgin. What you found? The fountain of tight. The fountain of tight. Look, I'm tight again. Listen, man. One of y'all women out there that's listening right now. One of y'all. Some of y'all. Your parents suspected that you was having sex probably before you started having sex. Some of y'all got taken to the doctor by y'all mom and y'all dad so they could see if y'all had been broken in yet. Some of y'all that happened to. And you was like, why does my mom and my dad think I'm having sex already? And it's amazing that you can go to the doctor and they can make that determination. They'd be like, nope, the cherry is still intact. they put the cherry on an ultrasound. Like, look, cherry's still there. Like, wow, that's what the cherry look like? Like, no, cherry is that little, y'all know, Cherry. Cherry. Do you want to get fucking with me? Do you want to? No. Cherry was the group that sung, play that funky music, white boy. My bad. Play that funky music, white. All right. Cheryl Hudson says, some people don't want to see if the love is good because they don't want to ruin the sexual goodness. Just like when friends don't want to have sex because they don't want to ruin the friendship. Yeah, but it's different. I'm talking about when it's already too late. It's already too late. Like, y'all didn't agree to be in a sexual relationship. Y'all agreed to be in a real relationship. You just found out later on that this person is not capable of being in a real relationship because they're not capable of love. They don't know how to show it. They don't know how to give it. They don't even know how to receive it. But they do know how to They know how to we've probably all gotten into relationships that we didn't really mean to get into. Like, I thought she was all right. I wasn't really looking to get into nothing, whatever, And, matter of fact, it might have been a situation where I was like, well, I hang out with her, we kick it a little bit, maybe go to the movies, get something to eat or whatever. I thought she she was cool, but I wasn't really looking to get into nothing. So I went and picked her up on a Friday night, and we went to the show and blah blah blah. Had a nice time. We got back to the crib, and one thing led to another. Man, I ain't go home for a week. I missed work and everything. I stayed inside her love for a week, but we didn't have a whole lot of nice times after that. It wasn't nothing but a bunch of fussing and fighting and disagreements and just a whole lot of dissension. It wasn't. It was irritating. Got to the point where I stayed out and I wouldn't come home until it was time to go to bed. So we had. Didn't we almost have it all? The sex you had was all worth giving. Well, it happens, man. It's not one of those things that you really plan for. But Stacey White says, that sounds like an asshole. Yeah. What woman hasn't been in love with at least one asshole in their lives? That's what I want to know. Yeah, I want to know. If there is a woman listening to this show within the sound of my voice, if you have never been in love or never been in a relationship with an asshole, please holler. I want to know. Because I don't think it's possible. That's like a man saying, I've never been with a woman that wasn't a pain in the ass. Like, never, dog? Never. They was all cool. Like, come on, man. It's a rite of passage. It's a rite of passage. Every man I know has been with a woman that was a straight pain in the ass. It might have got to the point where he was like, you know what? It's over. It's enough. Enough is enough. It ain't worth it. I can't do this no more. I can't do.
90 seconds.
I can't do it. I can't do it. So Stacey says, if you get on my nerves, you gotta go. It sounds easy.
Seconds.
It sounds easy, but that sounds like some internet stuff to me. Because unfortunately, there have been plenty of people that weren't able to separate the difference between their emotions and their emotional ties and their sexual ties. Some women, and there's some scientific evidence that support this about women being penetrated, and it doing something to their emotional psyche, to whereas it has been suggested that it's easier to make a woman fall in love when sex is really good for her. It's easier to confuse her emotions and her loyalties. In other words, she get dick whipped real bad and she can't let go. It happens. And so, like I said, It's bad enough that there's some scientific evidence that supports that. Scientific. Shoot, you ask me, some men out here kind of subscribe to the same theory when it comes to them. Make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Daily Go Getimism Show. Good in bed, bad in love. Good in bed, bad in love. Throwback Thursday. Let's get real about relationships Thursday. Good in bed, bad in love. Some boy says, show me the science. Well, let me see. Let's see here. Since you challenged me, let's do it. Okay. Okay, let's do it. Can good sex make a woman fall in love?
According to Quora.com, answer, not fall in love per se, but during orgasm, a chemical called oxytocin is released. It is primarily responsible for bonding.
The answer was yeah. Okay, let's go. Let's get into it a little bit more. Sex is one of our biggest preoccupations, causing thrills, heartache, and downright confusion. But until recently, exactly what happens in the brain during sex was something of a mystery to scientists. Now, however, American researchers have uncovered what goes on in a woman's head during an orgasm. The scientists from Rutgers University, New Jersey, use scans to monitor women's brains during orgasm and found that different brain parts are activated when various parts of her body are aroused. They found that up to 30 different parts of the brain were activated, including those responsible for emotion, touch, joy, satisfaction, and memory. The scientists found that 2 minutes before orgasm, the brain's reward centers become active. These are the areas usually activated when eating food and drink. Immediately before they reach the peak, other areas of the brain became the sensory cortex, which receives touch messages from parts of the body. The final part of the brain to be activated, I'm sorry, hypothalamus, the control part, which regulates temperature, hunger, thirst, and tiredness. The scientists also discovered that sexual arousal numbs the female nervous system to such an extent that a woman doesn't feel as much pain, only pleasure. The team now hopes to map what happens in a man's brain during orgasm. But what else is happening inside our heads when we slip between the sheets? Here we ask the experts to reveal how sex alters our brain. So, yeah, not fall in love per se, but people react to this different. You know, there are some women out there that aren't connected to anybody because of sex. And there's some women, you know, every man that they've ever had sex with, you know, they'd be like, this is my, I'm just, and why do you think that some women be practicing abstinence and celibacy? Because they know, soon as they get stuck, soon as they get stuck, they totally. Of course, we're not all the same. We're not all the same, but you know, just like some people, you take like food. There's some people that only eat when they're hungry. They got other things going on. And there's some people who can't go 1 minute of the day without stuff in their face. They have a strange relationship with food. So, the same way that you can have an intimate relationship with food, you can have an intimate relationship with sex. So, some people, I know all of y'all, even though some of y'all might describe yourselves as being greedy, y'all know somebody that's greedy. Like all they do is eat. So, so it's when we get back to talking about good and bad and love, love is a whole different animal. When you're looking for love, when you're looking for a real connection between you and somebody else, but all you have is sex, and that makes you try to compensate for the other deficiencies in your relationship that are apparent, because the sex is the only thing that's good. So that's what you have to rely on time and time again. That's it. That's because that's all you got. Good sex. That's what you got. That's what you got. Good sex. That's what you got. That's what you got. Good sex. That's what you got. That's what you got. Good sex. Good sex. Yeah. Okay. Do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious October 13th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special because they are special because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box, Gianna Banks, turning 36 years old today, and also Tisha Whitaker, turning 47 years old today, and Bree, aka Sabrina Jazzy Burge, happy birthday to you, and Lydia Nunez, turning 34 years old today, and Teresa Rudolph, happy birthday to you, and somebody with all Arabic writing, happy birthday to you, and Uppy Stone, Uppy Nicole, Uppy Stone, Uppy is her nickname, turning 48 years old today, and Michael Ann, or should I say, I guess it's really Michelin. I really think it's Michael Ann. But okay, Michelin Andrews turning 52 years old today. And Rodney Dinkins turning 55 years old today. And last but not least, they call me Cougar, my girl Mary Porter. Happy birthday to you. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all and anyone else out there who shares this birthday on this glorious October 13th. I hope that today finds you a good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. All of y'all go ahead and turn up, but don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out, rock on and do the damn, rock out, rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, man, when sex is all you got, you're good in bed and you're bad love. How long will it last? How long can you hang? How long can you hold on? Can it withstand all of the other stuff that comes along with it, or will it die a horrible death right there on the operating table? Well, it's really up to you. You know what your tolerance level is, and what you'll be able to withstand as time goes on. I know that when you get in a relationship, everybody wants to be happy, and the things that makes one person happy isn't always the things that will make everybody else happy. But when you're in a relationship, you have to find a way to make for two people to try to make each other happy, if they so desire. Not everybody is on the same page when it comes to that. Some people don't really care about the happiness of somebody else. We were talking about that just yesterday, right? You know, what happiness looks like from the outside. So there are plenty of irresponsible men out there, egotistical men who think, hey man, as long as I'm throwing her the D, you know what I mean? That's what makes her happy. I'm going to sex away all of her problems. And there are women who think the same thing. You know what I mean? I rub some of this on him. I rub a little bit on his D and a little bit on his face, and everything will be all right. And you know, so boy, I see what you wrote. That goes both ways. That's true. When a man is open by a woman, you know, where she really got that stuff that he ain't never had before, that he's open with. Yeah, you seen him act crazy. I said good and bad, bad and love. I didn't say that it was just a man thing. You know, it goes for both genders. It goes for both genders. Um, it is what it is. It is what it is. You're good and bad, but bad in love. You're not the type of person that's good to be in a relationship with, but you are definitely the type of person that's good to do the grown up with. The grown that makes you moan. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all right back to life. I hope y'all enjoyed listening to the show as much as I enjoyed broadcasting it. Make sure y'all hit that like button, share the show, and subscribe to the channel on y'all way out. Appreciate it. Terry Hawkins coming through late. I saw you yesterday. I think, was it yesterday or the day before? Glad to see you coming through, holding it down for the D all day, every day. 365, 24/7, 12 months out of the year. That's what I'm talking about. All right, y'all, let's get on about it here. So, all right, Blog Talk, we gonna get you out of here. Yeah. And for my YouTubers, you know just how we do.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.
Hold on. And for my YouTubers, you know just how we do. But thanks for coming on through. See you on the other side, my boobers. Peace, y'all.